Welcome back. We're continuing to focus on the big global headlines. And the biggest, of course, is the Trump versus Musk blowout. But the other major headline is, and that's a positive one, is that there was a phone call between Mr. Donald Trump and, the Chinese leadership as well, between Mr. Xi Jinping. The sort of what we know from Mr. Trump's posts is that it was a very constructive call. That's how he calls it. And then the trade negotiations are supposed to carry on now forward. So let's discuss this and where things could be placed right now and how should markets interpret this. We have with us Tianchen Xu, who's senior economist at the Economist Intelligence Unit, and he's joining us from Beijing this morning. Tianchen, great to have you. Thanks so much for being with us. What have you made of things? And the thing is that usually thanks to social media, everything is out in public domain, right? It was a great Geneva Accord, and then we were told that things are getting stalled, and then we were told that Mr. Jinping is a very difficult man to do business with, and now there's a phone call. Where do you think things are at?
Yeah, I think it is a very important juncture because we know that we think that Trump might have initiated the call likely out of his anxiety of China's export controls. Yeah, this is because China has dramatically tightened its rare earth restrictions during May and during April and May, yeah, which is causing a lot of supply chain disruptions in the U.S. and elsewhere, especially in the auto sector. Yeah, so I think that is causing some anxiety from Donald Trump. Yeah, and he's probably very eager to talk with Xi Jinping to trying to persuade China to drop these export controls.
Yeah, just a small tangent, since you mentioned rare earths, and I'm just for a tiny 30 seconds, I'm taking a deviation. Where do you see China placed on that? Because you're very right. I mean, forget it. Probably started as a tactic against the U.S. Yeah. But a lot of other countries, including India, are suffering because those rare earth magnets are not coming through. Do you see any change, any softening in the Chinese stance on that at all?
Yes, I do think so. Yeah. So, but back to, I mean, why does China start those restrictions? This is actually because that, I mean, after the tariff truce in May, the Trump administration still imposed new export controls on Chinese access to U.S. chips and so-called EDA tools. Yeah, this is making China unhappy. So in exchange, China imposed more stricter controls on rare earth minerals. Yeah. So, but on the other hand, I mean, China also intends to curb those transshipments to the U.S. via third countries. So it is sort of conducting very strict inspections on rare earth exports to every country. So that is causing that problem. Yeah, but that is unsustainable, I would say, because it is causing a global, let's say, supply chain disruption. Yeah.
Hi, Tianchen. Good morning. Good to see you. And Nigel on this side. Just tell us what could be the realistic tariff rates that come about from this U.S. as well as China trade talks. So they went to around 100%, which was not sustainable. Yeah. But what should a realistic number that we should digest in terms of it settling down? Your take.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of uncertainties. Yeah, because what we know is that Trump's tariffs is also facing some blocking at the U.S. courts. So we don't know what will happen. Yeah, but let's say without that, I mean, a realistic expectation would be the overall U.S. Tariff rate to drop to, let's say, 30% on average. Yeah, so right now it's around 42 to 45%. Yeah, so there's probably 10 percentage points of further drop. Yeah, and similarly for China. Yeah, so I think that would be the let's say a reasonable average tariff rate over the next few years.
What's your base case right now? I mean, do you see this settling in a month, longer? Is it going to be far more protracted till we arrive at some sort of a rough trade framework between China and the U.S.?
Yeah, I think it basically depends on what areas we're talking about. For export controls, we're probably seeing a talk coming very soon, like within 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, so and the two sides can probably knock down some, let's say, reductions of their respective export controls. Yeah, but I think tariffs will be a longer term topic to discuss. Yeah, and it might, I mean, think of, let's say, a more fundamental trade negotiation that might take, let's say, at least 1 year or even longer, or it will probably last through Trump's entire presidency. Yeah, and I don't hold very optimistic expectations for those tariff talks. Yeah, because Trump is still very preoccupied or obsessed with charging tariffs. Yeah, to generate revenue and to bring manufacturing jobs back to America. Yeah, so that won't change.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us, and really provides good perspective on what's going on between US and China. Thank you, and talk to you again soon.